know your numbers. Sounds obvious, most of these things are obvious. As a business leader, business owner, you've got to know what numbers drive your business. You've got to know how your business is going, not just for you. You may have other owners, shareholders, the bank. Your own staff may want to know, how is your business doing? So how well do you know your numbers? And of course, it's not just the numbers themselves, but actually how do you report the numbers? Now, most of us do management reports, monthly reports, profit and loss, balance sheets, and so on. That's what most businesses do. And some businesses actually don't do that very well either. And those things are good, but the problem with financial reports is they are historic. They're giving you facts and data of stuff that's already happened. It's too late to change it. Interesting, tells you what's happened, but it doesn't tell you how is your business going to go in the future. So that's good, but better than that are what we call dashboards. Dashboards these days tend to be software driven, but they actually monitor your data, what's going on, all the time. So you can bring up a dashboard and it gives you instant live data. You don't have to wait till the end of the month to produce the report. You can walk up to it at any time and say, well, how are my sales? How are my orders? What's my profit looking like? So dashboards are actually better than financial reports. It gives you an instant picture, assuming you can do it, obviously. So that's good, better, best. Forward-facing indicators. Anyone heard of these before? Forward-facing indicators. Give me an example of what they are. A chemical company sells hundreds of thousands of litres of chemical to the oil industry. So some months they expect to ship, £100,000 worth of chemical. Some months the orders go to zero, nothing happens. So they're left with a lot of stock, very expensive stock. Other months, triple or quadruple the orders come in. Great if you've got the stock, and they haven't got the stock, so the customer goes elsewhere. So why can't that chemical company predict what's about to happen? So, cut a long story short, they went off to the oil industries, the BPs, the Exxons, the Mobils of this world, and said, look, why is it some months you order zero, and other months you order 4 or 5 times? And it was because oil platforms go on and off production. They go into maintenance mode, or a brand new oil platform comes into production, and when they go in, they need a lot of chemical. When they're shut down, they don't need any chemical. So a forward-facing indicator to that chemical company was talk to the oil companies. 6 months ahead, they know when the plants are going into maintenance. So 6 months ahead, you can now predict the stock situation. That's an example of a forward-facing indicator. Now, all businesses, if you did a bit of work, can have a forward-facing indicator. Hotels have them, restaurants can have them, a hairdressing salon can have them. You just need to do a little bit of work on what your forward-facing indicators could be. So again, know your numbers. Financial reports good, dashboards better, world-class forward-facing indicators. So what would your score be? So on your little sheet, score yourself between 0 and 10. What do you think you are in your business? So that's number 1 of the 7. Know your numbers. Here's number 2. Guy talked about this, shared vision. It sounds obvious, again, but many businesses start up 3 years later, 5 years later, they've not really defined what the purpose is, what the point of this business is, what they're hoping to do with it. Whether they want to exit for the long term, whether they want to just do good, if it's a charity. What is the vision? Where is this business going? So, number 2 then is, have you got a vision? Have you actually sat down and documented, written down on a sheet of paper, here is my vision? And going further than that, if you've got staff, obviously, do your staff know what your vision is? Because quite often business owners keep it up here. They know what the plan is, they know where they're going in 3 years or 5 years, but the staff quite often don't. So having a vision is great, but it's got to be communicated, it's got to be understood by your staff. And not only that, do you have a business plan which actually has business goals which are designed to get you to your vision? Again, it sounds obvious, but many of us have business plans which say, well, next year I think we're just going to do what we did this year plus, say, 10%. Most business plans are just about growing sales, and that's not the point. The point is the plan going to help you get towards your vision? So that's number 2. Have you got a vision? Is it documented? Do the staff understand it? And is the plan going to get you towards your vision? So again, score yourselves. In your business, where are you? Are you number 2 or are you at 10, world class? Score yourselves. So that's number 2. Here's number 3. I also talked about this. If you've got a vision and a plan, have you got the right people to actually help you achieve that plan? We've probably all heard this phrase, getting the right people on the bus. Now again, sounds obvious, doesn't it? Just go recruit some people to help you build your business. But actually, it's about having the right people in the right seats on the bus. Do they all agree where the bus is going? What seats do you need on that bus? Have you actually spent some time and worked that out? And then if you have worked it out, how good are you at recruiting? Because most of us, forgive my language, most of us suck at recruiting. We are very bad at recruiting. And so we end up with people, maybe we've done a short interview, maybe we've had coffee in Starbucks, maybe we've even interviewed them in the pub. This all happens. And we end up with people probably because we're desperate to fill the role, they seem okay, they've got a pulse, they're alive, they smile occasionally, so we go and recruit them. You need to put a lot more work into defining, well, what is success in this job role? Have you defined what great means? Have you defined what an A player should be? So all of us have to get better at recruiting A players. Why would you want to recruit a B player or a C player in your business? You've got to be good at recruiting A players. So this is why number 3 is important. Get the right people on the bus. And if you want to do some reading into this, great book called Good to Great. Jim Collins, anyone heard of that? Jim Collins, fantastic book, a few years old now, but absolutely still valid. So number 3, get the right people on the bus. So again, in your handout, score yourself. How good are you at getting the right people on the bus? Here's number 4. If you've got people, that's great. How engaged are they? So what do we mean by engagement? Well, staff will probably turn up to work every day. They may start at 9 o'clock, they may finish at 5:30. But how productive are they during the day? How enthusiastic are they? How committed are they? Do they actually like what they do? Do they go that extra mile? There's lots and lots of evidence to say that if you're going to invest money in improving your performance in your business, here's where to invest in getting engaged staff. When businesses have sales problems, say their sales are a bit flat, they'll often look at the sales organisation or the marketing organisation and they'll spend money there. They might send their salespeople off on a sales training course. That's great, we'll improve our sales, we'll get ourselves back on track. There's lots of evidence to say if you spend £10,000 on sales training or £10,000 on getting staff engaged, this will give you 4 times the productivity improvement, 4 times the performance, an improvement in sales training. So it's huge this, and it not only improves performance, higher shareholder return, higher customer retention, all sorts of things. And this is about all staff, not just your salespeople, not just your customer service people, from the receptionist, the cleaner, every single person in your business. If they're really engaged, if they're really switched on, they really buy into what you're doing, you will be more successful. And again, another little book, Daniel Pink, it's a book called Drive, or go on to Google and YouTube, there's lots of videos on this. This book talks about what really motivates people. Because quite often the assumption is if you want to motivate people, you just got to pay them a bonus or pay them a higher salary. Not true. People are motivated by different things. And again, Daniel Pink's book will actually go into that in great detail. So again, now score yourself. How engaged are your staff? How committed are they? Will they go that extra mile? Yeah? That's number 4. Here's number 5. It's related to number 4, but is your whole business customer-centric? Do you do everything revolving around what the customer is looking for? Guy talked about value proposition, that's related to this. So here's number 5. It starts with having engaged staff, because if every member of your staff is engaged, the customer's more likely to have a great experience. They're more likely to buy, they're more likely to come back and buy more, they're more likely to recommend you. But it's about making sure that everyone in your business, whether they're sales, operations, service, support, the receptionist, everyone puts the customer first. And that's not as obvious as you might think. All sorts of things are involved here. including you as the leader. If you're the leader, if you're the owner, how often do you go out and speak to a customer and find out what they really want? Why do they really buy from you? You know, the assumption is because we deliver great service, great quality. So what? The whole world does that. Why do they buy from you? Go ask your customers. Be a customer-centric business. So again, scale of 0 to 10, where are you? Here's number 6. Now this is where many of us start to fall down. There's a difference between leading and managing. And a lot of us end up managing the business when we should be leading the business. So what do we mean here? Well, you'll often hear this phrase. Are you working on the business or are you working in the business? So if you're the owner, if you're the leader, your job, as we've heard in the previous 2 or 3, is to do things like set the vision, get the right people on the bus. Your job is not to do the firefighting. Your job is not to sort of, go out and do the work. As your business grows, your job is to find the right people to do that for you. So you need to be looking at the future. You need to be building plans for what's coming next. What is the next year about? What is the next 3 years about? That's your job as the leader. If you're in there doing the work, fighting the fires, doing all the detailed stuff day to day, working till 9 o'clock every night doing the work, you're not leading. You're actually doing or managing. So, as a leader, again, how are you going to score yourself? Do you work on the business or do you work in the business? Again, another great book, a little book called The E-Myth, Michael Gerber. It's all about how do you work on the business rather than in the business. So if you want to do some reading, that's where to go. So we've had 1 to 6, and we said there were 7. So here's the 7th. Number 7 is about you. Many of us end up in business working horrendous hours. We stay late, we get in early, we work weekends, we miss holidays, we miss the birthday of our son or daughter, we take short holidays. Why on earth would you go into business to just work and not have a life? Why would you do that? So as a leader, your job is not only to take care of the business, it's to take care of yourself. And your staff also need to see this. They need to see evidence of it. Now, for many of us, it means different things. It could be, do you look after your fitness? Do you look after your health? Do you have a hobby? Do you do stuff outside of work? Do you spend time with your family? Do you spend enough time with your family? Now, if you're going to score yourself on this one, be honest. Because this is where many of us say, oh yeah, I'm a 6 or a 7 there. And many of us say no. Many of us are down at 3 or 4. There's a couple of people laughing in the front here. So this is an area that many leaders ignore, and they focus all on the business, and they don't focus enough on themselves. It's no good being brilliant at business if your family life goes down the toilet. You've got to have both. So what are you doing to look after yourself? That's number 7. And of course we said there was an 8, so there's the 7, and we're going to suggest to you that in your business you might think, well, there's something else I have to be good at. So what is it? If you have a number 8, what's your number 8? Put it down on your form and score yourself. So what would you add in your business? Sales, being good at sales. So being good at sales, what else? Who's got an 8? Anyone got another number 8? Sales is an obvious one. Being good at sales. Communication. Being a good communicator. Yeah, good one. Depends on what your business is, depends on what size you are and so on. But yeah, you probably have a number 8. So whether there's 7 or 8, you should now have a picture. What does your picture look like? And again, the evidence we built up over many, many years with many, many different businesses say, look, it doesn't matter what size you are, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, if you're good at these 7, chances are you'll succeed. The question is, how good are you at these 7? So, first thing is to know how good you are, what's your score, and then obviously what are your weaknesses? How will you get better, where will you go? I'm going to end there, I'm going to show you a little video, I'm going to stay behind afterwards. If you want to have a quick word, by all means do. Let's run the video. Can you hear that? I can't hear that. Can you hear it? should be music coming out there, but there's no music, right? Tell you what, as there's no music, I think we'll end it there. We'll let you get off. That's my details. If you want more information, happy to talk further. Come and see us on the Vista stand just over in the second row. Enjoy the rest of the day. Hope you've had some value out of it.